So, all right, let's try to start. My apologies because my previous session was all the way on the last room on the building B. So I'm actually tired from walk from there to here. So I did my best. And luckily they changed it because the other session I had was back to back from here to there. I said, no way that I can go there in speed of light. So, so good afternoon, everybody waiting for the beer, including myself. So I will try to be brief here as well. So my name is Marcel Dakar. I am a global black belt for field service and connected field service, which incorporates from the spectrum of the IoT aspect of that to the mixed reality and the field service and everything between that. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Some people are asking me why I'm putting my QR code here. The reason is we bought LinkedIn for $26 billion, and I think it's a better way to then handle a business card. So, but I do have business card in case you need it. So, just to line up, what is this is a little bit of my view of what is the difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence. Um, not on I'm not specific as a data scientist on that. There are other definitions from that. But while machine learning is something that you want to help computers to learn by themselves, I think artificial intelligence use machine learning resources to try to mimic how we as humans behave, right? I think that makes sense. It's not specific or official scientific definition of the difference. This is just a simplified version of that. So what do we mean by connected field service? I think connected field service in a nutshell is a combination of our field service capabilities with our Azure IoT solutions. I would go a little bit beyond this slide and say that there are other aspects of connection, like you also have your field agents connected with their mobile application, and this is sending telemetry data. So basically, your mobile application itself running on your phone is a sort of an IoT device. A HoloLens, while we perform that work, is also a connected device. It's helping you to perform your work, is also a portion of connected field service. What we want to do is incorporate now data, machine learning, with connected field service to unleash new types of opportunities for your business, right? One of the things, what I see is corporations try to evolve onto this degrees, into this scale. What we want to move with connected field service is from a break fix approach to a never fail approach. To get there, you try to plan with your customers like, what is the path to get to this scenario? Right? From a break fix, you have a reactive approach on field service. The elevator broke. I was actually just right now talking to my corporate vice president about what happened a few months ago, that I stayed locked in an elevator with Ben Vollmer. I don't know how many of you know Ben Vollmer, but yeah, that was me. And I was in an elevator for an hour and a half with Ben Vollmer on an elevator saying, if this elevator was a connected device, someone would rescue by this time, right? So that was clear that company was on this spectrum of their evolution here. The hotel, that was in Austin. What I really want them to be is at least on the automated, right? They don't need to be predictive or preempted, prevent when the elevator, but from my point of view as an elevator customer, I just would like someone to rescue me faster than 1 hour and a half. So this is what incorporating AI and data and analytics with your field service solution can help you to try to find to just-in-time maintenance. So in a normal approach, I'm sorry this is a busy slide, but try to follow me on this. On this approach, we start on this segment. Something happened. This is an oil and gas scenario. Something happened. The top drive is damaged. You send someone to fix that top drive. If you don't have someone matching your skills with your resource capabilities or your requirements and with your resource skills and capabilities, you may end up, or parts that they need to perform that work, you may end up not having a good first-time fix rate, right? Without a connected field service solution, you may end up having a high unplanned downtime on your equipment. So we want to move this to a scenario where we are a little bit more automated on that. We want to have like a warning that because of the temperature is increasing your tolerance on that, maybe this is a sign that you're gonna have a problem, you will have a problem on that device. So it's less reactive on that. With like run a diagnostic test on this, someone that remotely can assess you with remote assist or phone call on that, or sometimes in other connected device, someone behind the scenes can change a configuration of your device remotely. You can even avoid sending someone to fix that specific problem, right? With some sort of AI on this, you can even have recommendations of what parts do you need to purchase on that. What we want to do, we want to push this to reduce the unplanned downtime, to be precise on that and predict that the equipment will fail, or there is a risk of the equipment will fail, and then you're going to try to reduce your unplanned tasks on that. Which gives me to the next slide. On this simple scenario, we have many opportunities to use AI and machine learning. We can have like cognitives and voice and vision alerts on that, like sensors. So I was recently visiting a mining company where they, for some of you that was on my previous sessions, I talk about this, is they have a rotary car dumper. They get two pieces of the train and twist that at the same time. What we did for them is we installed cameras and sensors on that. So we have vibration sensors, but only with vision and camera, we can predict if an arm that moved the train for acclimates to that machine, if it is precisely aligned or not. So if the computer vision identifying that the arm is not fully aligned, it will not gonna drop. So we'd avoid risk and damage on other equipment. So other scenarios that you could use, in this case, a vision is more like an AI, it's trying to behave like a human, but you may have also predictive anomaly on that. So this customer, they estimate based on their years of running business that there is one part of their equipment that they need to change every 6 months. So every 6 months they change that. So I asked them, when did you calculate this every 6 months? And the guy answered me honestly, say, I don't know. Like I was hired and this was already the prediction on that. I have no idea where that, but I am assuming that this is how they do it. And what if you are replacing before the time? And eventually the equipment breaks before the 6 months, so maybe the 6 months is not enough. So it actually, maybe there is not a specific formula that you're gonna apply for that specific type of equipment. So with sensors and predictive anomaly detection, they can send that if maybe the amplitude of the movement of that part is, I'm losing a little bit of amplitude on that, maybe that's an indication. Associating this with my vibration sensors, maybe I can get an indication that this equipment is about to fail. Other aspects that we can use AI is bots. We don't think so much about how to use bots on the field service scenario, but with another customer, we were in a scenario that they need to do appliance maintenance on that, and the field agent could search for a knowledge-based article specific for that type of appliance. But what we did instead was create a bot for them that say, I have a problem on this Samsung dryer. And the bot, I'm happy to help. Here's a troubleshoot material for that. And he followed it step by step. I don't know how to open this machine. And the bot answered, I found a video that will show how to open this machine correctly. So the bot it's another way that AI can help on your field service story around. Right? We also have smart routing. Every time you are telling that your best source for going from this point A to the service account that you're gonna serve, I need a route like you use on Google or Bing Maps. There is some AI on that. You have other scenarios like computer vision to identify the specific part, or guided workflow, for example, with some sort of intelligence and try to troubleshoot that material as well. So one example for oil and gas is you can associate you can read your IoT sensors on that. What we're seeing here is basically, I'm seeing that this Adrian specific instance of equipment, comparing with the compressor fleet, is losing operational efficiency here. So this combined with other IoT data here may be an indication that I have a problem. So you can rely on this telemetry data and try to teach a model to help you to understand that. This is another way to see our, this is, by the way, this is Dynamics Connected Field Service. What we are seeing here is an IoT alert related to a temperature exceed the threshold from that's coming from IoT Central. Okay, this, you probably saw that before in terms of an IoT alert coming through IoT Central or IoT Hub to Dynamics. But what we are also seeing here is the value of integrating your IoT telemetry data with your Dynamics is you can overlay your telemetry data with service that happen on that. So in this scenario, gives us an indication that I had a problem and then someone act on that problem and solve that problem. I don't have this here, but would it be possible that you would have like let's say a service happening here just before this anomaly here, and maybe that service caused the problem that you are reading on this anomaly detection here. So this is a simple way to understand the value that relating your service data, what's happening with your field agents, what type of work orders you are doing on this specific equipment or this asset, and correlating them with your IoT data can give you new insights about what's happening on this. So we do have, you can build your own machine learning models for some things, but we do have on Azure a sort of cognitive services that are available for you to connect and plug and play and kind of play Lego and adapt them to our business. So a few examples of them, features that out of the box that some of them may require you coding for integration, most of them wouldn't. Which, by the way, Microsoft was the first company to achieve human parity on vision, speech, and language, which is amazing, as amazing achievement for us. Now, other companies already are at this point, but we were the first one to get to the specific one. Yes, please take pictures of that. That's cool. So let's take a look on how some of this Azure Cognitive Service can help you on your connected field services story. We do have an anomaly detector. This is still on preview, that can help you compare your actual data with your predicted data inside this boundary and try to find problems when they outside that boundary without necessarily training a model. Like temperature, for example, is something that in a simple scenario you can say, I have this controlled environment, I have my service here and an AC. If the temperature goes above a specific given temperature, I want to generate an alert. That's a valid scenario. But in other situations, temperature is something that will fluctuate during the year, right? Maybe on the winter, you have different thresholds of acceptable temperatures on that than in the summer. So this is where anomaly detection can help you also smooth and find the anomaly, even without training a model specific for that. Which ends up to what we want to do with types of anomaly detections, get to this, actually, we want to get to this point here, that there is a chance that this device we're going to fail in 7 days. You don't want to fail, you don't want to lose revenue on that. So this is the end out goal that you want, to predict with precision and before and avoid the break and fix model on that. Vision computing is something. So a few examples, you may have computer vision, examples that may not apply directly with the applies directly with field service story, but you don't need this data on Dynamics. But for example, security. On this customer that was visiting, they have strict security lines that you cannot cross that. It's unsafe for me to be there. So they have cameras that if for any reason I step where I can't, it beeps an alert saying like remove from that. So this is a type of computer vision that you can hide and avoid costly safety and insurance problems on complex operations. Another one, you want to categorize parts on that, like what type of parts do I need not only identified on the weld inspect scenario that I have a bad weld and with a 99.12% of precision on that that's coming from Azure Cognitive Service on that. I'm almost sure that this is a problem. but also trying to find, okay, I have a problem in this part, help me to identify the part with computer vision, things that you can use on that. Another scenario is language to speech. In most cases, in many cases, like the field agent is holding his mobile application. He don't want to type all the scenario. He just want to type. We use that on our phones every day, and this is. But you can take advantage of your field service story immediately by just use it. It's on your phone right now. You also have both ways, right? For someone who has maybe impaired, they need to read the instructions of the work order because it's a scenario that I cannot look at the screen. You could do the reverse of that, like to read the instructions for me on that. So it's both ways, not only text to speech, but also speech to text. And search also, right? We use search when he's searching a knowledge-based article, for example. You type a keyword of a problem. I put Samsung dryer and already finding the specific assets or knowledge-based article that I need based on search. We use that all the time when we search. So there are two options for right now for our offers for Connections Field Service. One of them is basically a platform as a service that you can rely on our Azure IoT platform that includes, for example, our IoT Hub solution that can integrate with Dynamics 365, and you have all the flexibilities to create models or use Azure Stream Analytics to read this data and broadcast to another model that you want to train for that. Or you can go on the other side, which is our IoT Central solution that's like a software as a service that basically it's a baked, prepared solution for you to just connect, plug and play your IoT devices, and is automatically, it's easy to connect them to Dynamics. Actually, both of them are easy to connect to Dynamics, but this you don't need to build your IoT solution. They already exist for you, just deploy REST to your device. What I'd like to do is invite you to go to tomorrow's sessions. James, what time is the session tomorrow? What? 9 a.m. there is a session where we're going to go deeper about connected field service. You're going to see that. There is also a hands-on lab where you have the opportunity to play and try our MSX chips and connect it with IoT Central. And you're going to see that in one session you'll be able to get a real IoT device and enable this device on the cloud without any need to code whatsoever. So on that journey story, we're going to go from a connected approach to a predictive approach. And I wouldn't say that cognitive is your end approach. I would say that cognitive is actually supporting all your transition. So with that, that's the end of my session. I would like to thank you very much and have a beer, have fun. Thank you so much.